The word intransigent. Intransigent is something that you cannot change. So when someone is unwilling to change their opinion, and let's just say a person, a lot of people try to prove a person innocent, but the judge remained intransigent. Intransigent is something that is not transigent. And number two is tepid. Tepid is usually when like the water flow is really less, is called tepid. So um, intepid is something that is not tepid, and it means fearless. So let's just say in Avengers, all the Avengers are so intepid. And inveterate. Inveterate is something that you cannot invert. Inveterate, something you cannot invert. It happens when you do something by habit. So the meaning is when something is done by habit, it's inveterate, and he cannot quit smoking because it is inveterate. Like smoking is inveterate. Irrevocable. Irrevocable is something that you cannot retract. Once something is done, you cannot take it back. So if you want to remember the word, focus on the part vocab, as in when you say something, you cannot take it back once something is said. So irrevocable is something that you cannot take back. And example sentence would be careful when you apply to an university. It's like a 4 year course, so 4 years course, and once you apply, it's pretty irrevocable. So, and next is involved. Involved in normal word, it means to get involved in something, but in GRE meaning, it means complicated. So when I was studying in university, some courses were so involved that it almost made me cry. And in the itinerate is to come back and forth, to go back and forth or travel back and forth. So the doctor used to be itinerate because of his home and workplace. He had to go back and forth. So if you want to remember this word, focus on the word rant. So itinerant, right? Errant. So it kind of reminds you of the word errant. And next word is um, jingoism. Jingoism is when you do something out of extreme patriotism. So I'm not going to explain this word. I'm just going to say Jin is going to join the military to serve his country. So that, if you want to remember the word. And especially the action of North Korea, they say that they do it because they do it out of jingoism. Next is jovial. Jovial is when someone is really happy and high spirited. It's an adjective, and after the result is published, everyone seems so jovial and jovilant. Jovilant is, am I pronouncing it right? Jubilant. Jovial and jubilant. So jubilant is when the happiness and high spirited happiness caused by success. So I worked really hard and my hard work paid off, so I was very jubilant. Next is juxtapose. Juxtapose is to place something side by side to compare. It's like to place something side by side, but it's basically done for comparison. So the sentence would be, start with juxtaposes. Well, if you're like comparing GRE vocab and GRE quant, that's like you're trying to compare the thing. So that would be juxtapose, and focus on the word pose if you want to remember it. So, pose is like when you place something side by side. Lac Laconic. Laconic is when someone talks less. So it's like lack of talking is laconic. Sugar doesn't talk much, so he's laconic. And lambast means to criticize someone severely, or like, well, you just say bash someone. So lambast means bash someone. Focus on the part bash. Sorry, lambast. Lambast, yeah.